What's up guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Ayomide. If you're new here, you are absolutely welcome. On this channel I post DIY sewing tutorials. So this particular tutorial that I am posting is a highly requested one, and it was in continuation of one of the videos that I made. The title of that video was how to draft and sew an off-the-shoulder blouse. So one of you requested that I should show you guys how I draft my off-the-shoulder sleeve, and so I have decided to make a video on how I draft my off-shoulder sleeve. Now these are the measurements that we are going to be using. If you watch that tutorial, you would know that our neck width was 6 inches, which we derived from the pattern. If you have not seen that video, I'm going to be putting a link in the description box, so you can go ahead and click on that link and watch that video. Now for the round shoulder I am working with is 44, the sleeve length is 7, and the round sleeve is 14, and I'm going to be dividing it by 2 to give me 7, since I'm going to be cutting on fold. Another measurement we need is the cap height, and the cap height is the bust measurements divided by 12 plus 1 inch. So the bust measurement I'm working with is 41 divided by 12 is 3.4 plus 1 is going to be 4.4. So my cap height is 4.4. Now these are all the measurements required: the neck width, the round shoulder, the sleeve length, and the round sleeve. So guys, before we proceed, we need to carry out some calculations. To determine the sleeve width, I like to call it sleeve width for better understanding. To determine the sleeve width, I'm going to be multiplying the neck width by 4. This is a standard actually. You multiply by 4 to get your round neck width for both the front and the back. So 6 multiplied by 4 is 24. So my neck width is 24 for both the front and the back. What I will do next is to deduct 24 from the round shoulder. So deducting 24 from the round shoulder will give me 20 inches. So I have a total of 20 inches, and then I'm going to be dividing this 20 by 4, which is 5. So my sleeve width is 5 inches. I'll go over it again. I multiplied my neck width by 4 to get my round neck width for both the front and the back. Remember, we are working with a quarter of our measurements. Now for you to determine the round neck width, you need to multiply by 4, since we were working with a quarter of our measurements. The next thing I did was to deduct my answer from my round shoulder measurements, which is 20. What this 20 means is that I need 20 inches for my sleeve for both my right hand and my left hand. And if you are using 20 inches for a total of the right and the left, that means the right would be 10 inches, the left would also be 10 inches for the right and for the left. And since we are also drafting, we are going to be cutting our sleeve on fold, you further divide it by 2. So instead of you dividing 20 by 2 to get 10 and then dividing 10 by 2 again to get 5, just go ahead and divide this by 4 to get 5, just to cut out this long process. I just decided to explain it for us. 20 inches is what is required for both the left hand and the right hand. If you divide 20 by 2, you have 10 inches for the left hand and 10 inches for the right hand for both the front and the back. And then since we are drafting our pattern on fold, you go ahead and divide whatever you have by 2 to get 5. But instead of going through this long process of dividing this by 2 first and this by 2, just go ahead and divide your answer that you got from deducting these two together to get 5. So that is how I arrived at 5. Deduct your neck width from your round shoulder, and whatever you have, divide it by 5. Divide it by 4, and my answer is 5 inches. So guys, to get started, this is going to be my starting line, and the first thing I will do on this line, I'm going to be marking This answer we got from that very long calculation, which is going to be our sleeve width, and it is 5 inches. So from here now, I'm going to mark 5 inches and add half inch for my seam allowance. The next measurement I would mark is the cap height, and the cap height is bust divided by 12 plus 1 inch, and I got 4.4. So from here, I'm going to be marking 4.4 inches downwards.
The next thing I'll do, guys, is to mark my sleeve length, and my sleeve length is 7 inches. So I'm going ahead to mark 7 inches, and I'm going to be adding 1.5 inch seam allowance, and that is a total of 8.5. So I'm going ahead to mark 8.5 inches across, and I'm also going to be connecting it with my pattern master. Afterwards, on that cap height, I'm going to be placing my chest line, which is 8.3 plus 1 inch seam allowance. Your chest line is your bust divided by 6 plus 1.5, and then on the sleeve length line, I'm going to be placing my round sleeve, half of my round sleeve plus 1 inch seam allowance, and I'm going to be replacing that same measurement on my seam allowance line, but I'm going to be adding a quarter of an inch so that I will not be short of fabric when I turn over my sleeve. The next thing I'm going to do now is to connect all of my points together. So guys, this is all about how to draft an off-shoulder sleeve. Right here I have 5 inches plus half an inch. On my cap height I have my chest line plus 1 inch seam allowance. On the sleeve length line I have half of my round sleeve plus 1 inch seam allowance, and on the seam allowance line I have the same measurement right over there plus quarter of an inch so that I will not be short of fabric when I am sewing. Before cutting out my pattern, the next thing I will do is to add 1 inch at the topmost part of my paper pattern, rather right over there. Then I'll go ahead and connect it with my pattern master. I'm going to be piping that edge right over there, and then I'm also going to be marking 5.5 inches, which is the measurement I have right over there. I will just mark it on my seam allowance line and connect it together with my pattern master. Once I'm done with all of these, the next thing I will do is to cut out my pattern. So I'm just going ahead to indicate that this is my seam allowance, and then I'll go ahead and cut out my pattern. Once I'm done cutting out my pattern, I will also go ahead and cut it on my fabric. So guys, I have gone ahead to cut out my pattern on my fabric, and I also went ahead to hem it at the topmost part right over there. I piped it, and I also repeated the same procedure for the hem of the sleeve. The next thing I will do is to place the right side of my sleeve against each other and then sew it down by my 1 inch seam allowance. And this is the outcome of the sleeve. I would go ahead and turn it inside out so that you guys can see the sleeve. So guys, this is the sleeve when I turn it inside out. This is what it looks like, and this is the armhole where I am going to be fixing it to the blouse. To fix the sleeves to the blouse, all I have to do is to grab my sleeve. So I have my sleeve right here with me, and make sure that this seam line aligns with the side seam of my blouse. So I'll just go ahead and tape it down. I'll make sure that they align properly. So what I'm going to do is just to fix them on top of each other, and I am going to be securing it with a pin to put it in place. So once I'm done securing that hem in place, the next thing I will do is to grab the other end of my blouse and make sure that the both of them, my sleeve and my blouse, align together. And you can see that they properly fit in, the both armholes fit in. I'll also go ahead and pin it down and move over to the other side of my blouse and make sure that they also align, and I would also go ahead and pin it down. So as you guys can see, you would see that all of the armhole fit in properly. The next thing I'll do now is to sew in by my 1/2 inch seam allowance. Alright guys, this is the outcome of the sleeve after I have finished fixing it, and I love the fact that the sleeve properly fits into the armhole of the blouse, the side seam and that seam of the sleeve also properly align, and this is just the outcome of the blouse. I love the outcome. I love the way it came out neatly and nicely. I also went ahead to fix my sleeve for the other end of my blouse, and this is also the outcome, very much similar to the other sleeve. So guys, if you have learned a lot from this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please go ahead and subscribe, and don't forget to like and share the video. And until the next video guys, have a great day.